we're going to be graphing inequalities. These are inequalities, greater than, less than, and stuff like that. Now, they're just like graphing equations, except you're going to do some shading, either one side or the other of the line. There's also one more thing you're going to run into, is that the line is either going to be a solid or a dotted line. Okay. Now, less than or equal to's and greater than or equal to's, what you'll find is those will be solid lines. And then when you get less than or equal to, less thans or greater thans, those are going to be dotted lines. So you're going to have solid and dotted lines. It'll make more sense once we do some practice here, but you want to make sure you got that down. And I'll describe why as well. Anyways, we're going to graph this. The first thing I probably want to do, though, is change this to negative 1x plus 3. Because that's like a negative 1, and that's a 3. Now, you don't have to. You could just look at this and go, oh, I know what my m and b are, but it sometimes helps to rewrite it. Okay. Basically, plus 3. We start at positive 3 on the y-axis. That's where we begin. Negative 1, well, negative 1 is really negative 1 over 1. So that means I'm going to go down 1 over 1. And I could keep doing that if I want to, down 1 over 1, get a whole bunch of dots if I want. And then I'm going to make my graph. Now, the graph, what you need to be aware of, it's a less than, which I said over here, it's dotted. So what that's going to look like is you just got to put more of a dottedness to it. If for some reason you mess up, write the word dotted next to it. I'll know that. And then what's next going to happen is we're going to shade one side of this line. Because it's a less than, it was dotted. Now we got to figure out what is the lesser side of this line. Which side is lesser? That can sometimes be tough for people to figure out what's less, what's greater. Well, just for now, this right here is the lesser side. Okay? That is the lesser, the bottom of the line. Less is bottom, greater is top. Now, what this means, what does this graph mean? It means if I choose any coordinate in the shaded region and plug it into this equation, it should come out true. If I choose any coordinate in this non-shaded region and plug it into this equation, it will come out false. For instance, if I plug in the easiest coordinate possible, 0, 0. Do you understand 0, 0 is right there? If I plug 0, 0 into the original equation, whether that's x, y, I plug 0 for y, 0 for x, I end up with 0 is less than 3. True or false? 0 is less than 3. Well, isn't that where it's shaded? So should it have come out true? You can always verify that you shaded the right side by plugging in a coordinate, in the easiest coordinate, 0, 0. I do have a trick for doing, to knowing what's top and bottom. Basically, you get your arm, which isn't going to work on this video, but I'll show you later. This one, we first need to change to this form. Same idea, but we need to change it. So to get y by itself, your first step will be add x to both sides. So you have negative 4y is greater than or equal to x minus 4. Our next step would be divide by negative 4. And it looks like my new equation is going to be y. Now we divided by negative 4, so the sign's going to flip. And then this is really a 1. Do you understand that? That's 1x over negative 4, so it would be negative 1/4 x. There's my slope. And then negative 4 divided by negative 4 is a positive 1. There's my graph, my equation. Now to graph this one, it says begin at 1. That's what the 1 stands for, where we begin on the y-axis. Remember, this is the x, this is the y. And it says negative 1/4. So negative 1 over 4. So you're going to go negative 1, and you always go to the right. So you're going down 1 over 4, have 2 dots, and it's a less than or equal to. So that would be a solid line. So you get a solid line, and we want to shade one side or the other. This is a less than or equal to, so you shade the bottom, and you would recognize this as being the bottom. Now if you want to verify that's actually it, you choose a coordinate, and I'd see that 0, 0 is available. I want to choose 0, 0. Plug it into my original. Probably best to plug it in your original. So plug 0 and 0 into my original. That leaves me with 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4. True or false? 0 is greater than or equal to negative 4, so that's true. Which shouldn't it be true? Isn't it where it's shaded? Okay, so we verified we shaded the right side. Again, you will learn how to recognize top and bottom on any kind of graph. I don't know. I'll get you to know that. Number 3. One of those different kind of graphs. First of all, we need to make the line. Think of this as an equal sign to start with. X equals negative 2. So you go on the x-axis, and you put a dot at negative 2. Now, is that going to be a vertical or horizontal line? Well, you have to think, okay, where is x always negative 2? Well, it's going to be right here. Now, looking at the sign, is it dotted or solid? It's dotted. Okay. And then, so I got my line. It's dotted. Now we look at the sign. It says greater than. What side of this line do you think is greater? Which side has larger values? Can't you tell that the right side has the larger values of a number line? This is all your positive values. This is all your negative values of x. Can we plug in 0, 0? Yeah, but there's only an x to plug in. But you could plug in a value. But you should realize that's the greater side of this line. By the way, why did we make this a dotted line? Because is negative 2 part of your answer? No. Is negative 2 greater than negative 2? No. So we put it dotted, meaning it's not part of your answer. Kind of like open circle, closed circle. This is kind of like an open circle, but it's a dotted line. Where over here, the orange line was part of your answer. Here, the red line is not part of your answer. For instance, is this one going to be dotted or solid? Number 4. It's going to be solid because it's less than or equal to, meaning that your answer, the line, is part of your graph. Here the line is just a boundary, but not part of your solution. So here we want y is 4. So we put a dot at 4 on the y-axis. And then we should recognize, okay, where is y always 4? It's going to be along that, like so. Y is always 4 there. It's solid because it's or equal to. And then we got to think, okay, less than or equal to. Less than would be the bottom or the smaller values. And can you tell that this would be the bottom or smaller values of y? So we shade that. So any coordinate down here will be less than, y is going to be less than 4. For all coordinates down here, y is always less than 4. Less than or equal to 4.